Yes, good morning, all of you, and welcome back to the online session of MPMC class. In this session, we will discuss the signal descriptions of 8257, that is, the pin diagram of DMA controller. From last few classes, we have been discussing about the DMA operations, the architecture of DMA, and in the previous class we completed the register organization of DMA. Okay, so hope all the points for DMA are clear to you. In today's class, we will try to complete this DMA controller. We are just left with this signal description and how priority is given and how actually a DMA process works. Okay, that all we will try to see, and we will complete this DMA controller, right? So signal descriptions, that means pin description. Okay, so you can see here in the diagram, it is a 40 pin IC. A DMA controller is a 40 pin IC, like the normal chips. Okay, and out of 40 pins, out of 40 pins in the architecture, you have seen that you have 4 channels, and for every channel you have two signals. For every channels you have two signals, that is, one is DMA request and another one is DMA acknowledgement. DMA request and DMA acknowledgement, that means for all the 4 channels that are there in the architecture of DMA, you have two signals. So 4 into 2, you will have 8 signal. Okay, so DMA request is the input signal, DMA acknowledgement is the output signal. So 8 pins you can see here in the pin diagram. Okay, so 8 pins will be this regarding DMA request and DMA acknowledgement. These are the 8 pins. Okay, so what is the purpose of these pins, that I'll explain later. Okay, first let us see what is the pin occupations. Okay, what is the pin occupation. Next, after that, you will have data bus buffer. Okay, you will have data bus buffer to transfer the data. So how many bits we can transfer at a time? We can transfer 8 bits at a time. So we will have 8 signals. Okay, see here, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. Okay, these. So these are the data bus buffer signals used to transfer the data. Okay, and this is the supply signal, this is the clock signal, and this is the reset signal, and this is the chip select signal, and this is the ground signal, which are common for any of the chip, which are common for any of the chip that you take here. Okay, and coming to the remaining things here, see, these two signals indicate the IO write and the IO read operation. These two signals indicate the memory write and memory read operations. Mark ready and hold acknowledgement AD. These are all the control signals. These are all the control signals. And if you can see this TC, this TC indicates the terminal count of any particular channel that is selected. Okay, and these A0 to A3 indicate the channel selection, and A4 to A7. Okay, these indicate the address. Okay, so this is about all the pins that are present here. Let us now individually look into the operations of the pins here. Coming to the first category, what is the first category? DRQ0 to DRQ3. These are the signals that are present. These are the signals that are present to the channels. 4 channels we have now. So for all the 4 channels, these are the input requests. These are the input signals. Okay, input signals. Okay, so these are the 4 individual channel DMA request inputs used by the peripheral device. Suppose when keyboard wants to write into the memory, or some hard disk want to write into the memory, or some pen drive want to write into the memory, then what is the first step we have to do? We have to send request to the DMA controller through any of the 4 channels that we have. Okay, so that request for each and every channel is nothing but DRQ0 to DRQ3. Okay, so that request sent by the peripheral devices is nothing but DRQ, data DMA request. Okay, so out of these four requests, generally when we go for fixed priority system, then DRQ0, okay, so DRQ0 will have the highest priority. DRQ0 will have the highest priority, and DRQ3 will have the lowest priority. This is in the fixed system. Okay, this is in the fixed priority system. Okay, if you go for rotating priority system, then it will have a different priority depending upon the chosen one. Okay, but in the fixed priority system, DRQ0 will have the highest priority and DRQ3 will have the lowest priority. That means the DMA request that is given to the channel 0 will have the highest priority, and the DMA request that is given to the channel 3 will have the lowest priority. Okay, so that is about the DMA request lines. Next, after sending the request, then we need to get the acknowledgement. That means, suppose if keyboard is asking to send data to the memory, okay, if keyboard is asking to send data to the memory, that means it requests to channel 0. It requests through channel 0 through the to the CPU. Then the CPU has to handle it now. After handling it, it actually sends the acknowledgement. Okay, you can send data to the memory. You can send data to the memory. Okay, so that is nothing but what? Acknowledgement. That is nothing but what? Acknowledgement. So those acknowledgements are provided by DACK0, DACK0 to DACK3. Okay, for individual channels. For channel 0 it is DACK0, and for channel 3 it is DACK3. Okay, these are the output signals. Okay, where DRQs are the input signals, these are the output signals of the DMA control. That means it actually acknowledges, it actually gives signal to the peripheral devices. Okay, so these are the active low DMA acknowledgement output lines, which inform the requesting peripheral, that means the peripheral may be either keyboard or something else. Okay, so the request that is done by the peripheral device will be acknowledged here. Okay, the requesting peripheral, that the requesting has been honored, that the requesting has been accepted, and the bus is relinquished by the CPU. The bus is relinquished by the CPU. That means what? It actually giving the bus to the DMA for the transfer of data into the memory. Okay, once it is giving acknowledge signal means what? It is ready to hand over the bus system to the DMA controller for data transfer into the memory. Okay, so that is the purpose of these lines here. Okay, like the request lines, these acknowledgement signals also will have the same priority under the fixed mode. Okay, so that is about DMA request and DMA acknowledgement signals. Okay, next one is data bus buffer. Data bus buffer, which is D0 to D7. Okay, so these are the bidirectional lines. Actually, These are the bidirectional lines which actually communicate the data, from the peripheral device to the memory, of the 8086 microprocessor through DMA controller by using the bus system of the 8086 processor. Okay, hope the point is clear. Okay, hope the point is clear, right? So generally these actually transfer the data from the peripheral device to the microprocessor memory system using the DMA controller by accessing the bus system of the 8086 microprocessor. Okay, see, these are also can be used to carry the command words. Okay, command words, status words. Okay, apart from carrying the data, these are also used to carry the command words and status words. Okay, and when you are having more than 4 peripheral devices to transfer data, see, each DMA controller can what you can say can access to only 4 peripheral devices because we have only 4 channels. Okay, when you have more than 4 peripheral devices to transfer data, then we can go for another DMA controller and we can choose master slave mode. We can choose what? Master slave mode. Okay, one DMA controller will be acting as the slave and one DMA controller will be acting as the master. Okay, in that mode also these data will be transferred between master and slave. Okay, so there also these carry the same function. Okay, that is the purpose of D0 to D7. Okay, these are actually data lines which actually carry the data. Okay, sometimes they also carry the status words and command words when they are in the master slave mode. Next one. The next one is IO read. IO read. Okay. So from the signal itself, you can understand this is an active low bidirectional signal, bidirectional input line. Okay, bidirectional input line. This generally acts as the input in the slave mode. When the DMA controller is acting as a slave, then this particular signal acts as a input signal. Okay, so in the slave mode, what is the purpose of this signal means? This input signal is used by the CPU to read the internal registers of the 8257. Okay, this IOR line is actually used by the CPU in the slave mode. When DMA controller is working in the slave mode, then this IOR line is used to read the internal registers of the DMA controller. Okay, so what are the internal registers we have? Address register, status register, terminal count register, and mode set registers. Okay, so in order to read these registers, we use what? IOR signal by the CPU. Okay, so this line acts as the output in master mode. When DMA controller is acting as a master, then this IOR line acts as the output line. Okay, so in the master mode, what is the purpose of this signal? This signal is used to read data from a peripheral during the memory write cycle. Okay, as I told you, the DMA controller can work as a master and can work as slave also. Okay, so when the DMA controller is acting as a slave, this IOR line is used to read the internal registers of the DMA. When the DMA controller is acting as a master, it acts as the output line and it actually performs the write operation in the peripheral devices. Okay, similarly IO write. Okay, so this also has two purposes depending upon the working of DMA controller, whether it is in the slave mode or master mode. Okay, this is also active low signal and it is bidirectional one. In the slave mode, it is what? It is the input signal. It is the input signal, and it is used to load the contents of data bus. We have D0 to D7 data bus to 8-bit mode set register, 8-bit mode set register, or upper or lower byte of 16-bit DMA address register or terminal count register. The same purpose and the same purpose as IOR. Okay, so in the slave mode, it is actually reading the it is actually uh, reading the contents of mode set register, contents of DMA address register, or contents of terminal count register. In the master mode, what it is doing, it is acting as the output line. It is acting as the output line, and it is loading the data into what? Peripheral. It is loading the data into peripheral. The same thing as the IOR, the same thing as the IOR. Okay, so that is the IOR and IOW. Okay, IO read and IO write. Okay, so clock is for giving the clock frequency to the DMA controller. Okay, basic system timings and all depend upon the clock signal that you all know. No need to explain, I think. And next, yes. Next signal is what? Reset. Okay, this is active high asynchronous input that disables all DMA channels by clearing the mode register and tri-states all the control line. Okay, so what is the purpose of reset here? It actually resets the DMA controller to the starting. That means what? The DMA channels will be cleared. The registers in the DMA channels will be cleared. That means DMA address registers will be cleared. DMA terminal count registers will be cleared, and the mode set register is cleared. Okay, so that means all the lines, all the registers will be cleared and made to zero. Tri-stated means what? They'll not have any signal. They will have zero. Tri-stated means what? All the lines will have zero signal. Okay, that is the purpose of reset signal. Next, coming to the A0 to A3, this you know. Okay, what is the purpose of A0 to A3? It is actually used to select a particular channel, and in the particular channel a particular register. That means either a DMA address register or terminal count register. Okay, so this also have two different functions in the slave mode and master mode. In the slave mode, they act as the input. In the slave mode, they act as the input, and these are used to select one of the registers to be read or written. To be read or written. Okay. In the slave mode, what happens? It actually selects one of the registers. Okay, either DMA address register or terminal count register or mode set register. Okay, the status register cannot be written. It can only be read. Okay, so in the slave mode, these lines A0 to A3 are used to select one of the registers to either write or read. Okay, similarly in the master mode, what happens? There are four least significant memory address output lines. Okay, in the master mode, these A0 to A3 carry what? Address. Carry what? Address of the memory location. Okay, So these are the lower nibble of the address. Okay. Next, chip select signal. CS bar means what? Chip select signal. So when this is active low, the chip will be selected. Okay. And these two have two operations here. This is active low chip select signal that enables read write operations from R28257 in the slave mode. Actually, this is activating the DMA chip. That is the general purpose of chip select signal of any particular chip. But in the master mode, it has a different purpose. It is automatically disabled to prevent the chip from getting selected by the GPU while performing the DMA operation. So in the master mode, what it is done is this chip select signal is disabled. This chip select signal is what? Disabled. Why? It is acting in the master mode and it has to respond to the slaves. It has to respond to the slaves, not to the CPU. Okay. So that is why this particular DMA, when it is in the master mode, the chip select signal will not be selected. It is disabled, right? And similarly, next signals are A4 to A7, A4 to A7. Okay, so these actually carry the address, as I told you, no? As I told you in the pin diagram itself, these actually carry the address and these carry the higher nibble of the address. Okay, and next, so these are the control lines. The next category, the next section that we are going to discuss are the control lines. These are very important. These you need to understand very clearly. Ready signal. So ready. So what does this indicate? What does this signal indicate? See, this is an active high asynchronous input. Use it to stretch memory, read and write cycles of 8257 by inserting the wait states. Okay. So this is used while interfacing the slower peripherals. This I no need to explain, I think. Okay. So in the previous class itself, I just explained regarding that. Okay. So when you are having active high signal on the ready, then it indicates that you are interfacing a slower devices. So when you are interfacing a slower devices, that means when you are transferring data from a slower peripheral devices, then you need longer time. You need what? Longer time. That means you need more DMA cycles. So in between the DMA cycles, we actually insert some wait states. Some wait states. You all know what is wait state. Okay. So some wait states are inserted. Thus, we are extending the time period of the read operation or the write operation that is being done into the peripheral devices. Okay. Hope the point is clear. Okay. Next, DHRQ. HRQ. This is nothing but hold request. Hold request. Okay. So like DMA request, this is also one of the request. The DMA request is sent by the peripheral device to the DMA controller. Understand the difference between a DMA request and hold request clearly. See here. DMA request is the request sent by the peripheral device to the DMA controller. But hold request is the, what you can say, uh, it is the output request that access the system bus in the non-cascaded 8257 system. This is connected to hold the pin of CPU. Okay, so in the cascade mode, this pin of slave is connected with DRQ input line of the master. Okay, 8257. While that of the master is connected with the hold input of the CPU. What it does, the DMA controller will be sending the request to the CPU to hold the bus of the CPU. That means what? When the DMA request is sent by the peripheral device to the DMA controller, then DMA controller will send an HRQ. Will send an HRQ. Okay. So that HRQ is the output signal to the DMA controller, and this HRQ hold request is the input signal to the CPU. And this HRQ is connected to the hold pin of CPU. Okay. So that means what? This HRQ line will be connected to hold signal, and this is requesting the CPU to hold its bus system, What is the meaning of holding here? You might get a doubt. So Sar has been talking about hold. What do you mean by hold? Holding means what? Suppose CPU might be involving the bus system in many operations. Okay, it may be used to transfer data. It may be used to find the address of a memory location. It may be using its control bus for several control operations and all. Okay, for different operations. Okay, CPU does not perform only. Right. See, the CPU will have several operations to perform, right? So the CPU cannot perform only memory transfer operations, right? It has several operations to perform. So the several operations requires the bus system of CPU, right? So when we are sending hold request to the CPU, means it holds the bus system. What do you mean by holding? Holding means what? It actually separates the bus system from all its operation. That means it suspends the bus system from all its operations. That means no data will be transferred to the transferred through the data bus. No address will be transferred through the address lines. No control signals will be done through control bus. That means all its bus system will be tri-stated and will be hand over to the DMA. Holding means that. Okay. So the CPU's operations will not be performed through the bus system of 8086. That is the meaning of hold. That is the meaning of hold here. Okay. So when you are sending this, yes, when you are sending this HRQ hold request to the CPU, what happens? The CPU holds its bus system. Then after holding the bus system, that has to be communicated to the DMA. Okay, we requested for the bus system. Right. Right. So we requested the CPU for bus access, and it actually holded the bus system. Now that has to be communicated to the DMA controller. That is communicated using HLDA signal. HLDA is the output signal of CPU and input signal to the DMA controller. Okay. So the CPU drives this input to the DMA controller. Okay. While granting the bus to the device. Okay. That is the purpose here. So this pin is connected to the hold HLDA output of CPU, and this is input. If high indicates the DMA controller has gained the request. Okay, that is a meaning. When you are getting HLDA signal from CPU means what? The bus system has been granted to the DMA for data transfer. Next, memory read. Memory read and memory write. Okay. So these are used to read the memory and write the memory. No need to explain anything more than that. Okay. ADSTB. ADSTB. Okay. So this is nothing but this is an output signal. Actually, it indicates that the higher byte of the memory address generated by the DMA controller into the latches. That means you need to transfer address. You need to transfer address. But you can transfer only a single byte at a time. You can transfer a single byte at a time. That is why when you are loading the higher byte, in order to indicate that you use this ADSTB. ADSTB. Okay. And this is the pin that supports that higher byte. Okay, so this output is used to disable the system bus and control the bus driven by the CPU. This may be used to disable the system and the system address and data bus by using the enable input of the bus drivers to inhibit a non-DMA device from responding during DMA operations. This also may be used to transfer the higher byte. That is the main purpose. This is also used to transfer the higher byte of the generated address over the data bus. Okay. So generally, this actually disables the data bus. We have data bus now, the data bus of the CPU. Okay. So this actually disables data bus means not D0 to D7, not D0 to D7. This D0 to D7 is the data bus buffer of DMA. This is not disabling this. We have data bus of CPU now. Okay, the data bus of CPU. Okay, so the data bus of CPU will be disabled from performing the non-DMA operations. Okay, we can also have non-DMA operations, right? So this data bus will be prevented from performing the non-DMA operations by using this signal, and this is also used to transfer the higher byte of the address over the data bus. Okay, that is the meaning of AEN, address enable. AEN means what? Address enable. And next one is TC. TC means what? Terminal count. Terminal count. I think we reached to the end here. So terminal count. So as I told you, this particular signal is used to indicate the terminal count of a particular channel. Suppose if channel 2 is in working, okay, at a time all the channels will not be in working, right? At a time all the channels will not be in working. Suppose let us say we have channel 2. We have channel 2 in working. So when channel 2 is in working condition, the terminal count register, will be indicated using this particular TC. Okay, that is the purpose here. Next, what is the purpose of mark? Okay, what is the purpose of mark here? The modulo 128 mark output indicates the selected peripheral that the DMA cycle is in the 128th cycle since previous mark output. The mark will be activated after each 128 cycles or integral multiples of it from the beginning of the data block. If the number of the required DMA cycles is completely divisible by 128. What is the purpose here? It generally indicates, okay, it is just an indicator signal. Okay, what you need to understand is that it is just an indicator signal that indicates that it had completed the 128 DMA cycles. 128 DMA cycles. Suppose a DMA operation has started and it has completed 128 DMA cycles. Okay, so that will be marked, and after that you will have one more 128 DMA cycles. So for all the multiples of 128, this will act as an indicator signal. Okay, suppose that if you choose this mark signal at suppose let us say 10th DMA cycle, 10th DMA cycle. So from 10 it counts 128 DMA signals. From 10 it counts 128 DMA signals. That means what? This will indicate at 138 DMA signals. Okay, so from 10 to 138 gives you what? 128 DMA signals. Okay, that is the purpose of mark. You know the purposes of VCC and ground. VCC and ground. This is the supply signal and this is the ground signal. So that is about the pin descriptions of 8257 DMA controller. Okay, so we'll quickly look into the priorities and DMA processes, and we'll end this session. Okay, just stay with me. Okay, so we have learnt the pin descriptions now. So using those pin descriptions, let us now understand the DMA process here that is given here. See, I'll make it faster. See, the 8257 is to accomplish three types of operations. That is, verify the DMA operation, which type of operation it is, write operation, and read operation. Okay, write operation and read operation. These are the three operations that a DMA controller can perform. The complete operational sequence of 8257 is described using the state diagram in the seventh that is left here. See, now I'll explain the step-by-step process. See, suppose when you need to transfer a single byte using 8257 may be requested by an IO device using any one of the 8257 DMA request inputs. That is the first thing you have to do. ఏం చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ మనకి 4 ఛానల్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, we have 4 channels, right? We have 4 channels. ఈ 4 channels కి ఏం చెప్పాను మీకు? DRQ ఉంటుంది. DRQ అంటే ఏంటి? డేటా రిక్వెస్ట్. సో ఇప్పుడు నువ్వేమనుకుంటున్నావు అంటే కీబోర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసి మెమరీలో ఏదో రాయాలి అనుకుంటున్నావు. కీబోర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసి మెమరీలో ఏదో రాయాలంటే కీబోర్డ్ నుంచి నువ్వు డేటా పంపించాలి అనుకుంటున్నావు మెమరీకి. అప్పుడు నువ్వేం చేయాలి అంటే కీబోర్డ్ నుంచి త్రూ కీబోర్డ్ యూ నీడ్ టు send a data request to through any of the channels that you have. You have 4 channels. సో ఆ 4 ఛానల్స్ నుంచి ఏదో ఒక ఛానల్ కి నువ్వు రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపించవచ్చు. ఎప్పుడైతే రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపించావో ఆ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే ఈ DMA కంట్రోలర్ విల్ సెండ్ హెచ్ఆర్క్యూ అని ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడుకున్నాం కదా, హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్. ఓకే, ఈ హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ అని సిపియుకి పంపిస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఎప్పుడైతే నువ్వు డేటా రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపించావో అప్పుడు మనం ఏం పంపిస్తుంది, ఈ DMA అనేది సిపియుకి హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపిస్తుంది. సో ఎప్పుడైతే సిపియు హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకుందో దాని యొక్క బస్ సిస్టమ్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ బస్ సిస్టమ్ ని హోల్డ్ చేస్తుంది, అంటే మిగతా ఆపరేషన్ నుంచి సస్పెండ్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. మిగతా ఆపరేషన్స్ నుంచి సస్పెండ్ చేసిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు హోల్డ్ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ సిగ్నల్ డిఎంఏ కంట్రోలర్ పంపిస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఇగో హోల్డ్ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ సిగ్నల్ పంపిస్తుంది అనమాట. సో ఎప్పుడైతే హోల్డ్ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ రిసీవ్ అయిందో, when the hold acknowledgement signal is received by the DMA controller, it indicates that the bus is available for data transfer. The bus is available for data transfer. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి, ఈ కీబోర్డ్ నుంచి డైరెక్ట్ గా మెమరీలోకి డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవడానికి మనకి సిపియు ఏమి ఇచ్చింది, బస్సులు ఇచ్చింది అనమాట. ఓకే, బస్ గ్రాంట్ ఇచ్చింది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో ద డిఏసి ఇప్పుడు అది ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది మనకి, ఈ కీబోర్డ్ కి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ డిఏసి ఉంది కదా, డిఏసి అంటే ఏంటి, డేటా ఎక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్. ఓకే, సో డిఏసికే. ఓకే, ఈ డిఏసి నుంచి కీబోర్డ్ కి ఎక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ సిగ్నల్ ఒకటి వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఎప్పుడైతే అది వెళ్ళిందో, ఏదైతే ఐఓ డివైస్ మనం చూస్ చేసుకున్నామో ఆ ఐఓ డివైస్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఫర్ ద డిఎంఏ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్లీ కంప్లీట్. ఓకే, అప్పుడు డిఎంఏ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో ఇదంతా ప్రీ ప్రొడక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్ లాగా ఇదంతా డిఎంఏ ప్రాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ అవ్వడానికి ముందు తీసుకోవాల్సిన పర్మిషన్స్ అనమాట. ఫస్ట్ రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపాలి, డిఎంఏకి మనం రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపాలి, తర్వాత డిఎంఏ సిపియుకి రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపుతుంది, సిపియు దాన్ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసి దానికి అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ సిగ్నల్ డిఎంఏకి పంపుతుంది, డిఎంఏ యొక్క అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ సిగ్నల్ మళ్ళీ పెరిఫెరల్కి వెళ్తుంది. ఇదంతా అయిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు డిఎంఏ ఏం చేస్తుంది, జనరేట్స్ రీడ్ రైట్ కమాండ్స్ టు ద ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ టు బైట్. ఓకే, సో రీడ్ రైట్ కమాండ్స్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఎప్పుడైతే అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ వచ్చిందో దాని తర్వాత జరిగే ప్రాసెస్ ఇది అనమాట. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ జరిగిందో, ద డిఎంఏ కంట్రోలర్ ద ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ యాజ్ రిక్వెస్టెడ్ బై ద డివైస్ ఈజ్ ఓవర్ ద హెచ్ఆర్క్యూ లైన్. ఏదైతే ఫస్ట్ మనం ఏం చేసాం, ఈ డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ప్రాసెస్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఫస్ట్ మనం ఏం చేసాం, హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపించాం కదా, ఈ హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే ఫస్ట్ లో చేసేస్తాం, అంటే ఫస్ట్ హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ని విత్డ్రా చేసుకుంటాం. ఎప్పుడైతే హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ని విత్డ్రా చేసుకున్నామో సిపియు ఏం అర్థం చేసుకుంటుంది, ఇంకా డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి వీళ్ళకి బస్సెస్ తో పని లేదు, సో మన బస్సెస్ మనం తీసేసుకోవచ్చు అని అర్థం చేసుకుని, సో హోల్డ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ విత్డ్రా చేసుకున్న వెంటనే మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే బస్సెస్ సిపియు తీసేసుకుంటుంది, అది కూడా మనకి అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ వస్తుంది. సో ఆ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత డిఎంఏ అనేది దీని గుండా ఆగిపోతుంది. డిఎంఏ అనేది డిఎంఏకి ఇంకా బస్ సిస్టమ్ తో యాక్సెస్ లేదు. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ద ఎంటైర్ ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ డిఎంఏ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ యూజింగ్ ద సిగ్నల్స్. ఓకే, hope the point is clear. Right, next let us look into the priorities, how we will choose the priorities. Okay, as I told you మనకు రెండు priorities ఉంటాయి. First priority is fixed priority and the second priority is rotating priority, right? So when you are using fixed priority, you will have DRQ0 as the highest priority and DRQ3 as the lowest priority. అది మనకి ఫిక్స్డ్ ప్రియారిటీలో అంటే ఏంటంటే DRQ0 కి సపోజ్ 4 ఛానల్స్ కి డేటా రిక్వెస్ట్లు ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, ఆ 4 ఛానల్స్ లో DRQ0 ఫస్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ అవుతుంది, దాని తర్వాత DRQ1 ప్రాసెస్ అవుతుంది, దాని తర్వాత DRQ2, దాని తర్వాత DRQ3, ఇలా 1 by 1 ప్రాసెస్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, అదే రొటేటింగ్ ప్రియారిటీకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఏమవుతుంది, రొటేటింగ్ ప్రియారిటీకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఏమవుతుందంటే సపోజ్ DRQ0 ఫస్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ అయింది అనుకోండి, సపోజ్ let us say how this rotating priority happens. See, DR0 data request 0, data request 1, data request 2 and data request 3. Suppose ఇది ఫస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అనుకోండి, ఇది ఫస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అనుకోండి, ఫస్ట్ ఇది ప్రాసెస్ అయితే అది ఏమవుతుందంటే నెక్స్ట్ సీక్వెన్స్ కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఇది లాస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అయిపోతుంది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ ఏమవుతుంది, డిఆర్క్యూ 1 అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ సీక్వెన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడండి. ఫస్ట్ సీక్వెన్స్ లో అది అయింది అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు 2 3 0 అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇది సెకండ్ సీక్వెన్స్. థర్డ్ సీక్వెన్స్ కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి DR2 అనేది హైయెస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అవుతుంది, తర్వాత 3 అవుతుంది, తర్వాత 0 అవుతుంది, తర్వాత 1 అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ సీక్వెన్స్ లో ఉన్న హైయెస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అనేది సెకండ్ సీక్వెన్స్ కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి లాస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అయింది. అలాగే సెకండ్ సీక్వెన్స్ లో ఉన్న ఫస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అనేది థర్డ్ సీక్వెన్స్ కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి లాస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అయింది. అలాగే థర్డ్ సీక్వెన్స్ లో ఉన్న ఫస్ట్ ప్రియారిటీ అనేది నెక్స్ట్ కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఏమవుతుంది, లాస్ట్ అవుతుంది. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ కాల్డ్ రొటేటింగ్ ప్రియారిటీ. ప్రియారిటీ. ఓకే, అర్థమైందా రొటేటింగ్ ప్రియారిటీ అంటే ఏంటో? సో we can use either rotating priority or we can use either fixed priority. సో దీనికోసమని ఒక పెద్ద అల్గారిథం ఇచ్చారు, మీకు చూపిస్తాను చూడండి. దిస్ ఈజ్ కంప్లీట్ డిఎంఏ ఆపరేషన్ స్టేట్ డయాగ్రామ్. చూడండి డిఎంఏ ఆపరేషన్ ఎలా జరుగుతుందో మొత్తం ప్రాసెస్ ఇది చూడండి. డేటా రిక్వెస్ట్ లైన్ ఉందా లేదా చెక్ చేసుకుంటాడు వచ్చే వరకు. దాని తర్వాత ఇవన్నీ మనం చెప్పుకున్న ప్రాసెస్ ఏనండి. ఇది ఒకసారి మీరు గో త్రూ అవ్వండి. ఓకే, అండ్ ఇది ఓకే, ఇదేమో ప్రియారిటీ అలాట్మెంట్ సిస్టమ్. చూసారు ఇక్కడ. ఇక్కడ వచ్చేటప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ సీక్వెన్స్ వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే అలా రొటేట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, రొటేట్ అంటే దేనికి ఫిక్స్డ్ గా ఉండదు, ప్రియారిటీ రొటేట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అన్నిటికీ ఛాన్సెస్ వస్తాయి. సో ఇక్కడతో డిఎంఏ ఆపరేషన్స్ అనేవి కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది. దిస్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ కంప్లీట్ డిఎంఏ కంట్రోలర్. ఓకే, సో ఇంకా మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. ఇప్పుడు వీ హ్యావ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. చాలా మంది ఇప్పుడు జాయిన్ అవుతున్నట్టున్నారు.